They changed the stories, they changed the thought processes of the characters. They are not the original stories anymore. They are making up new woke things and I'm just not into any of that," said David Hanson, the co-director of the original cartoon. "I mean, it's a whole different concept and I just totally disagree with it. And I know my dad and Walt Disney would also very much disagree with it. There is no respect for what Disney did. I think Walt and my dad would be turning in their graves," he added. Rachel Zegler has been on trends recently because of her controversial statements and attitude about men. Interviews on her role in the remake of the famous Snow White is making the situation even worse. It all started a year ago with this interview when she disclosed that the Snow White is not going to be saved by the prince.
I just mean that it's no longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be, and the leader that her late father told her that she could be if she was fearless, fair, brave, and true.
Her manner of speaking wrote a lot of negative comments. She's obnoxious and thinks Disney revolves around her when it doesn't. Hope this movie tanks. This movie is going to bomb so hard. Although all the hate she's receiving from social media users, she's not planning to stop provocative posts on her Twitter account. A few days ago, Rachel again showed in a mini interview that she does not like the original movie.
Like, I'm being so serious. I watched it once and then I went on, never revisited Snow White again. So I watched it for the first time in probably 17 years.
Except from that, she called the prince from the original cartoon a stalker.
Evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Yeah. Weird.
This again caused a lot of negative comments towards her, as well as the film itself. I stuck my nose into the conversation when I saw the interview in which Rachel Zegler called the prince a stalker. This was pretty offensive. The prince appeared 2 times. They fell in love, she disappeared. He looks for her. This qualifies as a stalker. Original movie had a budget of $1.5 million and generated $418 million. This time Disney has spent $100 million on the film. However, it seems to be massively boycotted when it's finally released on March 22. Casting Zegler was not surprising, as previous remakes like Star Wars and The Little Mermaid also miscasted main characters in terms of appearance. So this time it wouldn't be a big problem if Rachel did not put a fuel on fire by her manners. On top of that, the plot of the film was changed profoundly. The evil queen, instead of comparing to Snow White by her beauty, she asks the mirror who is a better leader. Replacing 7 dwarfs with people of different races and genders for the sake of dwarf community had a reverse effect. Dwarf actors were upset for the fact that they lost one of few opportunities to get a screen time.
So it's not a progression at all to me. My issue with it is exactly what you said. There are actors, dwarf actors, that that dream to be in a major motion picture such as this Disney remake. And now, because Peter Dinklage said what he said last year, now it's taken away. And it's taken away because of quote unquote progression and all that. And it's not right, because these are roles made for actors of my stature, roles that aren't ever really given. I can't go out for the Harrison Ford or the George Clooney roles because that's not for me. These dwarf roles are for people of my stature.
Right.
And now it's taken away. I don't feel that's right. And not only that, but now think about the additional stunt actors or body doubles or that. Now you're talking multiple actors of my stature that don't get these major roles. And why? What's the reasoning? Because we're supposed to be progressive and we're supposed to just not view them as that?
Earlier, Gal Gadot, the actress who's playing the evil queen in the film, acknowledged that she does not like this kind of scenarios, and it can even be seen from her uncomfortability when she talks about the film, unlike Rachel Zegler. Many celebrities also disclosed their opinion on Snow White, and almost all of them were negative. In my opinion, this film is going to be a massive fail. Nevertheless, just like this film, Barbie was somehow pinned by some influencers to be for women and weak men. It has has already broken many unachievable records. However, in the case of Snow White, Rachel Zegler seems to be trying the black PR, but she is apparently overdoing it. In order for the black PR to work on a project, there must be a group that is hating on it and at least some people who stand to defend it. As we can see, the remake of Snow White is already hated by everyone equally, even far before its release. In addition, Disney is disrespecting its own films on such level, spending hundreds of millions of dollars, is like a machine which is on a self-destruction mode. This film will certainly be a lose, and for Rachel Zegler, if it's not going to end her career, then it will definitely affect it in a negative way. Subscribe to the channel.